Big Blue Thumb Productions presents the Podlie Podcast. Here's your hosts, Podlie Bill, Podlie Cliff, and Podlie Paul.
Well, hello everybody. Guess what? It's Epi 160.
Wow.
And
seriously?
Laura's
We're
in
chatting
there.
it up right until the last second we are.
We are.
Backstage.
Laura's in there first, so 3,500 points. Nicole's in there second, 2,500 points. And they are our first two in the chat tonight.
Hello.
So, yeah, we're back.
And how do?
This is live.
It's live. It's live.
It's live, yeah.
It's not a replay, and it's not...
Why weren't we here last
Encore or
week?
anything
Why
like
weren't we
that.
here
We're
last
not-
week?
we're
Oh,
not-
long weekend. Sorry.
That's right. I feel like it's a Monty Python
Long
skit.
weekend.
We're not dead yet. We're live.
Yes.
Forgot you dead.
We are here. We are here. So anyway, having said all that, how was the past couple of weeks for everybody?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that.
Yeah,
first.
Laura, how's the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, that's
Nicole,
right.
How's the last
Let's
couple
go to
weeks?
Laura first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to you, Bob.
Yes, Paul.
Holy cow, it's been a whirlwind. I don't know what it is. Just really busy. Really busy. A lot of side projects. A lot of acting initiatives and stuff like that, which is great. God love you all for doing that and accepting me and Hannah and I are in a commercial together. So it's a lot of fun doing something with your fam. That's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So we had a couple of days shooting.
So you were mentioning, Paulie, that you're because of the strike and all that type of stuff. Is it more work or what's the deal? Or
So here's what's happening. Okay, so we're talking about the writers' strike,
And the actors' strike.
and the
And the
actors'
actors' strike,
strike.
yeah.
Okay, so here's what I am: a non-union actor. I'm a non-union actor. I do not belong to SAG. I do not belong to ACTRA. I do not belong. I'm a non-union actor. I can work because I am not part of the union. And there is now there have been a lot of projects that have been tabled globally and locally, actually, as you both well know yourselves, being artists. But for the projects that are still going through, they can hire whoever they want. It is in the best interest of the ACTRA members and the union members to not work, and they're actually being encouraged not to, shall we say, which leaves a lot of spot for non-union actors like myself. So like ourselves, because we're all non-union artists.
yeah, no, I haven't been doing.
So
I haven't done any acting gigs in a while.
in a while, yeah, but still, we're
not-
non-union, so we could pick up anything else. Marvin, nice to see you, by the way. Saw Marvin yesterday on a shoot. Marv, always a pleasure there, sir. So yeah, that's the dealio. So because I'm not union, I can pick up whatever I want,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what has been happening. So it's been full on busy. So, but sad state of affairs, and I do support the actors getting paid their fair wages and all of that stuff, but you know I'm doing pretty good. You know what I mean?
Cool.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so busy. Yeah, good.
You,
Life's
Mr.
good.
Bill?
Busy, past couple of weeks, lots of stuff, happening, getting ready for, of course, Ravenwood Music Club gets underway in October. And you and I, Cliff, did a big event yesterday. For some
How'd that go?
radio at
It was good.
Sabre. It was really good. Lots of people there.
Yeah.
Great event, man. It's
Yeah.
a really good event.
The funny joke was it started at 3:00 and there was really hardly anybody
Nobody
there, but it was like 3:05, 3:10. All of a sudden the place was just packed.
Wow, is that right? Eh?
And then it just like some of the food places ran out of food. They were closing down by the end of the day. It was just
No, Bill and I were chatting away and kind of looking out, and I roamed the grounds, and they're setting up the tent for the artists, and I'm walking around, and it kind of flabbergasts me to think that all of this infrastructure is going in place and work effort is going in place, and they're telling me that the whole festival, or whatever you want to call it, event, was 4 hours,
Only to be torn down 6 hours later.
right?
Yep.
So I'm looking around, and I'm quite sort of flabbergasted at this, and And I'm thinking, wow, I hope these guys, I hope people show up. I mean, there's so much effort going into this and blah, blah, blah. And then I come back in again and we kind of wanted to start our spots. And all of a sudden you're looking around. It's like
Yeah.
Look at all those people. And it's almost like your eyes are not telling you the truth because they just come from there and all of a nothing. And then I'm looking, it's like, holy smokes, look at the lineup at the food truck. And then all of a sudden the outdoor area is just jam-packed
All the
with people.
tables are full, and
And then you go into the what do you call it? The Agora, I guess.
the inside the community center,
inside.
tables and stuff.
And it was like there was lineups on every
lineups
booth.
for all the restaurants.
Savor is
It's a food and drink event, but they also have music, and they also have local artists on display there with their work. So our friend Deborah Hughes-Gar was there.
I saw that on social media. I would have liked to have seen her.
And that kind of thing. But yeah, it was.
I saw our friend Lauren from the museum. I saw a photo.
Yeah.
And what's the lady's name? Eilish? How do you pronounce it?
Eilish Dodery, who's one of the organizers.
Yeah, she's one of the organizers. She had the best, obviously she knows, but she had the best definition of it. She says a lot of people say, hey, this is like Folk Fest. And a lot of people say, hey, this is like Taste of Edmonton.
Love it.
She says, so this is a combination. This is a good hybrid between a tasting type festival and a music type festival. And it truly is.
It is, yeah.
Kind of cool.
The music area was packed. Like it was packed all the way back.
Yeah, full tables.
Full tables, and then people sitting up on the grass.
On the grass by the building.
Just jam packed.
Well, what are we talking? 100 people? 300 people? 400 people?
So what was cool, Podlie, is the buildings like this. So here's the hallway.
Yeah.
And then if you look on the left hand side, assume we're facing.
Are y'all watching this?
Yeah. Assume we're facing one way. We were in the hallway set up over here. You go out these doors.
Yeah.
You go to an outdoor area and food trucks. And of course, from there, you can go into the indoor Agora, which is a massive building with all kinds of booths. You go the other way, and it's a massive outdoor space with the music tent.
And the alcohol side.
And then of course, there's up against the building, there's all this beautiful grassy kind of a hill. So not only were all of the tables full, all the grassy part was full, all the alcohol in the far back part was full. It was like crazy.
So you're talking like 500-600 people?
No, tight 3,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
3,000 people. And then
I don't know the venue, I don't know the venue.
Of course, we were in the.
It's crazy.
We were in the cross hallway, so we had lots of people coming by, and walking by, and stopping. And
I don't know about 3,000. It just seemed like it looked like it to me.
I'm sure we'll hear the amount.
Wow.
The amount soon.
Wow.
They try and do the best they can to do a count.
And this was a public function. It's not for merchandisers or it's not for vendors.
Well, they have artist vendors there, and then a lot of different restaurants and some food trucks, and then some of our local distilleries and beer.
How cool is that?
As well.
Really neat, actually.
How cool. I gotta go next year.
15 years it's been running.
Yeah, really neat event.
Yeah. So
I mean, Sherwood Park as a community should be pretty damn proud of that.
Is that right?
What a
That's
beautiful
cool.
facility.
it's only 4 hours long.
Yeah, makes you want to move to Sherwood
It
Park.
goes from 3 till 7. That's it. So it's only 4 hours.
I love stuff like that.
And the most expensive meal was $5. So everybody, it was
Shut
$5.
the front door. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they taste size stuff, but if you spend $15,
you're full.
You had a whole meal.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah.
You spent
and because
15
because I'm slightly piggish, I think I spent $25.
Well, you spend $15 at Taste of Edmonton, and you've got a taste.
Yeah,
And that's what you've got.
Exactly,
You've got a taste. Wow,
So
very
it
cool.
went really good. Chai is on. Hello there, Chai.
Oh, Chai.
Hello, Marvin. Just saying hello to you as well. And William Kirkland's on. I saw him on earlier as well.
Hi, guys.
Laura, how'd the first week of school go? Mine went rather flawlessly. I can't take any of the credit because I don't see my kids for most of the week. I see them only on weekends. But I do hope your girls had a wonderful first week of school. My kids, my daughter included, had a really good first week. My boy is running for grade 6 mayor leader. So, and it's not grade 6. He's running for school mayor, my boy. So, which I'm just thrilled about.
What school do they go to? I don't know if you weren't.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a school in South Edmonton.
Okay.
It's English Chinese.
Oh,
English,
nice.
yeah, English Chinese. So, and they are in the Chinese program. It's I'm thrilled because I mean, one of my boys, he's had some self-confidence issues,
Right.
and stuff like that lately. So he's an extrovert. You know him both,
Mhm.
Ja. He's an extrovert. So he's going to do so well. He's already got his speech and he's practicing it in the kitchen and he's all proud. And
I love it. I love it. I love
and he's got a campaign manager, guys. He's got a campaign
Wow.
manager and everything. So, Ja, you're going to kill it, buddy. And I'm already proud of you, win or lose.
Prime Minister
So,
Canada making, right there.
Campaign
hey.
manager.
at first, grade 6 and elementary mayor. Next thing, the candidacy for prime minister. Ja.
There you go. Prime
You
Minister.
got it, buddy.
That's right.
There
You
you go.
got
And
it.
what about you, Cliff? How have you been doing these past?
Oh, not bad. Busy. Keeping busy with work. It basically, the ramp up is about halfway. This coming week it pretty much goes rocket ship, and then it'll be just a breakneck speed to Christmas.
To Christmas.
Mhm.
That's kind of the way my particular profession goes. Interesting, great fun, and I love the social aspect of it because you get to meet a lot of people, and
Mhm.
I get to work with the new photographers we hired over the season, and yeah, man, we got just a great group of photographers, nice people. I think I mentioned this before. Anybody can teach photography. You can teach anybody to be what we're talking about, a school photographer. You can't teach creativity, but you can teach the technical aspects of it, and you can teach it, but you can't teach attitude, and you can't teach humanity and whatnot within a person. And when you get people like that come on board, it's really gratifying because I put a lot of effort, a significant amount of effort into the screening, into the interview process.
Well, the interview process,
Yeah.
and then the
No,
hiring, and then the
So
training,
I
and then the
put a significant amount of effort into that.
Mm.
So to have it pay off and having a really nice group of people is really good. So that makes my job easier, of course. Then, right? If you don't have to babysit people, then
That's
it's great,
exactly
right.
right.
So that's good, but busy in a good way. And yeah, Saturday we went out. My niece's birthday was Sunday, so a day earlier, Saturday we went out to Borden Park.
Love it.
Borden Park is a beautiful park.
Yeah,
If anybody doesn't know Borden Park, it's on the north side, 75 Avenue, 75.
Street.
Actually, probably closer to 80th Street and 112th Avenue.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful park. It is really a stunning park. So met my niece and nephew and the two younger kids. I think Asher's 2 or something,
Mhm.
and his older sister's about 4, I think. But anyway, just stellar fun, just
Mhm.
great fun, and we spent pretty much all day doing hot dogs and whatever we could do at the park, and it was just good fun. And then of course Sunday did the radio thing with you, Bill.
Mhm.
So the weekend went
Just like that.
Oh, isn't that
boom,
the truth?
just like that.
Isn't
it
that
goes,
the
right?
truth?
It's gone by quick. I know. And so for you, Cliff, a lot of the schools do photography the first week or so, right? Of school, some of them.
My
The only
kids
reason-
had it today.
The only reason I say that is I know, like, my
Mhm.
grandson actually missed his because he's
Right.
only been at school for
Mhm.
2 days. He went back the first 2 days, and then he had to go film in Calgary.
Yeah, you said
Yes.
we're doing acting
He's
gigs in
filming,
Calgary.
so
Yeah.
he's been away filming.
Yeah.
He's only just got back, so today was only his 3rd day back to actual school. So he missed his photo day.
Photo day, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
We do. It goes. It kind of depends, right? Because the high schools, there's no choice. You got to do them because we actually do it during registration days because we print ID cards and all that type
Right.
of jazz.
Sure.
So that's generally the first thing of the big high schools, and then the large junior highs and whatnot start kicking in,
Mhm.
and then slowly it filters down to the smaller schools because the smaller schools generally, because I mean you can only hire so many photographers. You can't you can't do everything at once.
You can't do
Mhm.
200 photographers for 200 schools.
You can't,
Can't do
right?
it.
So
Can't do
so normally what we do is we spend the month end of August till about the middle of October,
Mhm.
basically flat out. And then we
Right.
have the retake days and,
Yeah.
and then the graduation starts in December and January, February, blah, 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 right?
Yep.
So, but I tell you what, the crunch for the actual school day photography, that crunch is beginning
Well-
of September to end of October, and
Just goes.
yeah. it just
My
goes.
kids are 5 days into their brand new school year.
Mhm.
Today was their picture day.
There you go.
Today was their picture day.
It's just the way
So,
it is. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. And so you're right, Bill. Yeah, it's as many of the big schools will, like, I mean, this week I've got 3 of my largest schools this week.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So and that's just the way it is. And get those out of the way because obviously a lot of post processing for the
Right.
bigger schools, right? So
Right.
yeah. So but it's definitely a crunch. Because then we do class pictures and we do all kinds of other things along the way. But that crunch, man, I tell you, it's end of what do you call it? Training starts middle of August, and then it slowly ramps up. But then the moment we hit
it's like go, the gun goes.
All right, we're on.
Mark,
It's
it's
like
set,
boom.
go.
Yeah, it's really quite fascinating. And then it's the same ramp up in January again. So it's just a neat. It's a kind of a neat.
It's a crescendo.
Yeah,
it's a nice little crescendo.
It's really actually quite cool.
Nicole says their picture day is on Friday. So
you'll see me there.
Yeah,
Nicole.
At least it's not on what day is that?
Oh my gosh!
At least it's not on Saturday.
We'll put that up.
Marv, remind me a few days in advance of the 14th. I'd like to go if I can't. Can you remind me a week or two in advance of that October 14th? I'd love to go. What about you there, sir? You're leaving on a jet plane.
I am soon, but what's the fundraiser?
What's the 14th?
Yeah, Marvin said something about a fundraiser on October 14th.
It's at the rec center, but sorry, at the rec room. At the rec room. But I can't remember what it's for. I can't remember what it's for. Well, I can't remember what they're fundraising for. Yeah, I can't remember what they're fundraising for. So,
there you go. And Nicole, there you go. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, and Nicole, as you can tell, we're somewhat subdued this evening, which is well, a little bit not normal, I guess. I think we're all just tired.
Yeah,
we're kind of beat up, tired a little bit, I think.
Amen.
And so the energy levels are a little bit low. So
Amen.
If you get a chance to Saturday it up a little bit.
Amen.
There you go. Yeah, you had mentioned too. Yeah, so I'm on my usual road trip here, starting this upcoming weekend.
He's on tour, baby.
Gone for 2 weeks, 6 cities in Western Canada.
That's quite the busy couple of weeks for you, Bill.
It's nonstop. Yeah, it's. I have to come home to sleep because there's not a lot of time. In those 2 weeks to do much.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Do you start west and go east, or do you start east and go west?
No, I only do the west. So I only do Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton.
Yeah, okay. So you're starting west and then you go east.
And Winnipeg, and I don't do the east. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah, start with
Yes. Okay. No, I was thinking east. We do the same show in Eastern Canada, but we have a team that does the Eastern Canada side, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's. I think we talked a bit about this last year. It's very hectic.
Very hectic, yeah.
It's flying in and.
But you guys always seem to have find time for a little bit of fun and a little camaraderie.
We do it as after we get in, and our setup day is always the night before. So we're setting up in the evening before. So on the Sunday we'll set up in Vancouver, do the show on the Monday, and then Monday evening we have to, as soon as the show's done, we have to strike and tear it all down and load the trucks, and then we do the same thing. We travel, and the next day is a travel day. Then it's setup day, show day, travel day, and we do that for 2 weeks nonstop.
2 weeks straight up. Yeah.
I mentioned this last year. I'm jealous. I'd love to. Have you ever been on tour? You ever been on tour?
Yeah, I have.
I've never been on tour.
Yeah, when I was in technical sales, we've done things like that. We go to the Calgary Petroleum Show, and then you go to whatever they call it in Winnipeg and so on and so forth. And a couple of times I actually flew to Toronto, and that's a little bit interesting because if you got to fly out east and basically you're helping with one of the tours, whatever you call it. You're not there for the setup and the strike.
That's convenient.
So you kind of fly like an exec, and then you go to the hotel room and you check in and you chill, and then you get there just in time for things to open.
You don't even have to break a sweat, baby.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, when you're doing it, when we did our Western area tour and all that type of stuff. Oh yeah, you're in the thick of things. Right?
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, with ours, it's all hands on deck.
All hands on deck. Yeah,
we have 2 trucks on the road. They'll be heading out probably toward the end of this week. They'll be heading out to Vancouver and meet us in Vancouver on Sunday. Yeah, and then
and
we go.
Yeah, like I said, when we were doing our own areas, like Vancouver, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary, all these places. That's it. All hands on deck, and it's a great environment because the whole team's on, and because we were talking about some pretty large equipment, of course, we have a trailer pulling the Bobcat and all that type of stuff ready to roll in, and because some of those transformers, you get 100 megawatt transformers, it's the size of this room, and the big motors, so you get a 22,000 horsepower motor, and you get some huge equipment, but that's the fun of it, though, right? So you're doing all the grunt work with everybody else, but then they're bringing in this massive equipment, right? So it's interesting. Right?
It's a well-oiled machine.
We have a lot of big things that come in road cases as well, video walls, and
stuff
come in.
Like that, yeah.
So it is a lot of work getting it done. You're right. We do. Once a room is set up, then we usually get together for a late dinner. They have a restaurant booked for us or whatever.
Yeah.
And we eat. We don't have time to see any of the places we're in.
No,
It's because we get off wherever we're traveling. It's right to the hotel. And
But you don't want to after
no, we don't.
You're out. You're done.
A lot of times, we have availability to the restaurants in the hotel. That's where they book for us. On occasion, I think it was in Saskatoon, Regina, we go for a little walk to a specific pub or bar that they book for us, and we go there. So that's the kind of thing we do. I see Jordan's jumped in with our topic already.
Hi, Jordan. It's about time you showed up.
Wow, Jordan, haven't seen you in a long time. That was basically Linda's here.
Oh, hey, Linda. How you doing, Linda? Nice to see you.
Boys, on behalf of Jordan, we need a word, and our word is peeved. Jordan, peeved that you have not joined us in a while.
He jumped us right into what our topic was.
Yes, that's our word.
Normally it's
Jordan.
Laura or somebody reminding us, hey, you guys have a topic?
Yeah, watch Laura will be, thanks, Jordan.
So that was our topic, and I was just curious, what are people's pet peeves? And the only reason I thought about this is it was kind of funny actually. So it was on the weekend, I think on Saturday. So Chai was working. She had to do she had some counseling clients she had to work. So I drove her into Sherwood Park to the office, and I had some little errands and things to do. And then I had to come back and pick her up later that afternoon. So on the way back, sometimes I'll stop at Tim's or whatever, and I'll get her a frozen lemonade and I'll grab a little ice cap or something like that. So anyway, I decided, to go into the drive-through. So of course, one of my pet peeves with drive-through, this happened, is you think drive-throughs are quick. It's like your express way to go in and you do your order, you get your drink, and you're out of there.
Yeah,
right?
What, was somebody 10 feet ahead of you, or what?
It's these people who come in there with their vehicles, and you hear them start to order. And they're ordering like 5 sandwiches and 6 drinks, and it's like,
and the sandwiches are like mustard on half.
What's the soup of the day?
Mustard on half, and make sure it's lightly toasted on the left-hand side, but not on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I'll have 3 ice caps, and I'll have a tea, and it's like, so now you're express in the drive-through, instead of like it's 5-minute or 3-minute run through, you're in there for like 15 minutes.
The order takes 5 minutes.
The order takes, and then they got to sit at the window, and you're sitting back there, and you think, I could have gone in and got my order faster.
And they're paying in nickels.
And they're paying in
nickels.
Yeah, they're pulling out the change bag and pouring it. And so that's a pet peeve. So what I think is they should have a rule at drive-thrus that state drive-thrus are for ordering like maybe 2 drinks, maybe 3 drinks maximum, and 1 sandwich.
No, I got it. It'll be like the Oscars. You start to order, and as soon as the 30 seconds, the music starts to get louder and louder, and the audience. And
they're yelling out there, I want another coffee.
I need a coffee for my mother and one for my father, and I'd really like to get a half cap latte for my girlfriend, and all those, and then the music will start.
And then they actually have a recording or something that pops in. Please leave the drive-through line and come inside.
Oh man!
Please remove yourself from the drive-through line and park and come inside and redo your order.
They have a little tow wire.
Oh my
They have a
gosh.
little tow wire. A couple of beautiful women to pull them through. It's like we're done.
Yeah.
And by the way, there will be no encore.
There will be no
Too funny.
encore.
Oh
So
my
that's
gosh.
that's when I thought about this topic. Like, what are your pet peeves? Because I thought, here I'm sitting in this drive-through. Now I got to wait. I'm in there for like 10, 15 minutes because you got 1 or 2 people up front that have this huge order coming into the.
And now you can't back out.
And no, you can't back out. And you're watching them as they're handing drink after drink through the window, and it's bag after bag. And then the one lady gets order, and then she hands one back, and I thought, oh no,
Oh no!
You got the order wrong. So now we got to sit another minute while they remake the drink or whatever that she handed back to the window.
Oh my god!
Oh, and then when it's finally your turn, you order an ice cap, and they're all sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get up there, and I'm out of there in like 30 seconds. You tap, and
actually, that's me. I have a little game that I play with myself, especially in McDonald's, because they're very fast, and some of the A&Ws are really quickly, but mostly McDonald's are really fast, right?
Yeah.
So I'll order a coffee, and of course, as you go through the part where you have to pay, I won't actually come to a complete stop. I'll go like this, try and them up, and they'll put that, the whatever you call the machine out.
Yeah.
And I'll go click and I'll keep on moving and then hold my hand out like this as I'm moving. And if I can get through the drive-through, I must be really bored, because if I can get through the drive-through without actually coming to a complete and full stop, I'm like, yes.
Should be honking your horn.
I'm like, yes.
Waving out the window, flashing your
And
lights.
I've done that a few times. I've done that a few times where I drive by, it's like, snap, like click, and then get the coffee like this. And some of them, some of the places I used to visit on a regular basis now, man, it's amazing how fast people engage with you.
Yeah.
Right? When you engage with them, how fast or sharp they are, right? And they'll do that, they'll go.
Well, another option I thought about the drive-through is they have one of those arms that's down, and when you get up, they say, "And how many things would be ordering?" I would be ordering 2 drinks and a muffin.
Okay,
great. Arm comes up, drive in, arm goes down. The next person drives up, says, "I need 8 drinks and 7 sandwiches. Go park and you'll come in." The arm doesn't go up. Like, why have a drive-through then if I'm going to sit there for 20 minutes?
We'll have a denied.
Yeah, denied.
Oh,
Tonight,
man, oh man.
So,
Too funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
My goodness me, that's awesome.
First, my second pet peeve, and I'll let you guys, is people who don't signal. You're
Oh.
driving behind, you're behind somebody, driving along, and then all of a sudden they hit
I
the
just broke out a
brakes
kid.
and
when that happened.
they turn right. Like, or they put their signal on while they're turning.
While they're turning.
Well, that's helping. That really helps me.
I don't think you quite follow the concept of what a signal
The
is.
thing I'm always thinking is I want to get out and say, "Excuse me, does your vehicle come with a signal light? Was that an option?"
Was that an option?
My kids are going to be expert drivers by the time they drive because of all the BS and talking that I do. Why didn't you signal? Why did you do?
Or on the
My kids are going to be excellent. Or they don't take the first lane when they turn left, right? They
Doesn't
go,
that just piss you right off?
"Whoa, Cliff, I'll tell you,
I'm telling
man.
you something.
Come on, man."
Or they do this when they're driving a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
They do this when they turn left. I was like this.
They do this.
I'm like, dude, you're not driving a
Come
truck.
on,
Not
man.
driving a bus or a truck.
Oh,
or
it
the ones
drives me
on the
nuts.
flip side of that are the people who turn their signal on way too early. So you're driving behind, all of a sudden their signal light goes on. I go, "Where are you turning?"
Yeah.
Like, there's no right turn
There
for the
is-
next.
So there is a Goldilocks timing.
Oh,
And then finally they make the right
there's a
turn.
Goldilocks time. Absolutely, there is. There's a Goldilocks time.
And it's like,
Absolutely, there is.
what happened there? So that's another one. Of my,
Right.
So earlier on, how about people get the joke? Earlier on, Nicole was like about the encore.
Yeah,
no
she said,
encore.
"Ha, ha, ha,
No encore.
no encore."
And if you happen to be listening to this, I don't know why you'd be happening to listen to this and never listened to the podcast before, but if you happen to be listening to this and wondering what on earth the no encore means, you might just have to go back and watch a couple of
Episode
weeks.
154.
You got some homework to do,
It was
boys
such a
and
good
girls.
episode. We did an encore. I think that was episode 154.
154, that's right.
Laura says, "Did you check? I didn't know there was a drive-through timer. Like, what? I had no idea there was a drive-through timer. Is there a clock somewhere you're supposed to be watching?"
Yeah.
Uh,
And Linda Edwards, LMAO denied.
Marvin says signal lights don't work on BMWs apparently.
Apparently.
Or trucks.
Or some trucks.
Yeah.
Or trucks.
But no, I don't really say it about any particular vehicle. I just I do see it a lot where you're driving along and all of a sudden they turn. Just like they turn, there's no signal light.
Yeah.
They just and you hit the brakes and they turn. And it's not that I'm right on their bumper or anything like that, but then they turn. Or like I said, as they're turning, the signal light comes on.
That really makes me laugh because I'm like, I don't think you quite understand the word signal.
Yeah.
I don't think you quite know what that means.
Yeah.
I got a hard on for trucks. Trucks.
Trucks.
It must be a prerequisite, either new or used trucks, that you're a jackass before you buy one. It really that must be a prerequisite. Trucks. Yep.
So Laura says, sometimes I don't signal. It's because I don't want people to know my plans. or I just kind of forget until I get into the signal light. So you don't want people to know where you're going or where you're turning.
She's
so
a
just put
private-
in the signal light.
She's a private person. She doesn't want people to know her plans, Bill. Good one, Laura.
Then she says, "Oh, Bill, I wish I wasn't so absent-minded about my signal light sometimes." And she says, apparently McDonald's and Timmy's do have a timer. I had no idea about
I had no
didn't
idea
know
about that.
No, I
didn't know that.
I had no idea.
No, they might have a timer for how fast you get the food ready, but there's no time limit on a personal ordering.
There's no time limit on a customer.
You know,
That's
So So if I go in and I'm lined up, that could be another pet peeve.
Okay, you got 35 seconds. Go.
You go into a Tim Hortons again or a McDonald's or whatever. Now McDonald's, you can do your ordering on the screen and everything. You don't have to even line up. But you go into Tim's and you're waiting in line and you think, oh, you've been in line for a few minutes, and then that you get the next person who goes up and they go, I'll have 3 boxes of Timbits, 4 dozen donuts, and and now, oh my God, here I go again. Now you got to stand there with the Tim's person's trying to get it all into the computer, and you're sitting there waiting. And
so I'll have a box of 20 Timbits, but let me choose them.
One Timbit at a time.
Buy the sugar granule.
That one.
Buy the sugar granule.
No, I'll have that one over there. No, the other side. No, that one. The other side.
Think like a chess piece.
Polly. And then after that, okay, now I'll have the one next to it.
By the way, I need a dozen donuts, and I'm picking those out one by one.
Wait a minute, is that one still cooking in there? Is that one there? How much time do we got?
I want a dozen donuts. Oh,
I think we need a Podlie visits Tim Hortons and Podlie's visit McDonald's evenings.
I think we should.
Yeah,
because I can see and pick the donuts and okay, that one. No, don't give me that one. The chocolate icing is off a little bit. I want that one back there because it's got more of the chocolate icing done nicely.
And please make sure it's completely round.
Yes. Yeah. Wait a minute. What's the circumference on that? And hands the box back. 3 of these are somewhat square. What is the circumference on that?
It's got the measuring tape.
It's a little measuring tape.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
What's with my Timbit? It's not the right size.
Oh my gosh.
You know where those Timbits come from?
Marv, you, despite the fact that you drive a truck, I still love you, Marv.
Well, Marvin says
I still love you, Marv.
If I use my signal light on my Ranger in a strange area, it's because it's the only way I can turn my high beams.
So,
high beams.
So you're a Ranger stranger, are you, Marv?
So if he's driving those high beams on, the only way you can turn them off is to turn his signal light on.
Marv, I know you're a truck driver. I still love you, Marv.
Well, look at the time there, Cliff.
Oh wow! Look at that! It just went. It went from slow to all of a sudden laughter, and it moves quickly, right? Well, in that case, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the middle of the podcast.
So I've said, what about you guys? What are your pet peeves?
I didn't know I had to bring any of my volumes with me.
Volumes.
I hate shaving.
He opens up.
I hate shaving. Is it a Paul thing or is it a guy thing? I hate shaving.
Yeah, I don't like shaving. Hey, I just thought of the last.
I don't like shaving.
One of my pet peeves is on course. Anyway, sorry about that.
One of my pet peeves is on course.
Shaving. Yeah,
I like shaving.
I'm not a big. What about you, Cliff?
I'm not a big shaving person either.
No, I'm not a big shaving.
No, yeah, that's a. I don't like. No, I don't know if it's a pet peeve. Could that be a pet peeve? That's a pet peeve.
Jordan Moore says one of his pet peeves is magicians. Yeah, because I always want to know how they did that.
I just like to go on record by saying I have a lot of peeves, but none of them are pets.
None of them are pets.
Yeah, you like your pets.
I like my pets. Yeah. I don't. And listen, I like my pets, but I don't even call my dog my pet. Because I don't pet him, I maul him. So I call him my maul.
Your maul. Love it.
And sorry, William, I just read this one wrong. I'll put it up. I read it as I used to be a truck driver in my early 90s. And I was thinking, how old are you? Like 106? No, he's in the early 90s.
In the early 90s. Like not in his early 90s.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to be a truck driver.
William, is it getting that lunch? William? Come on, buddy.
It's like 105 now.
Holy cow, William.
Lori, you missed it.
Lori just missed it.
We did that. Cliff did that already.
Albeit late, but yeah. Maybe there's a slight delay on the. Lori, you should have signaled that you were going to write that comment.
Yeah, it's too late.
And stay in the closest lane when you signal there.
Yeah, you didn't signal.
When you let us know it's half an hour.
Signal that you were
That's right. Signal. Yeah. That's right.
And Cliff,
what?
You don't like shaving. That's one of your pet peeves.
It's one of my pet peeves. You can call it pet peeve, right?
Yeah.
It's one of my pet peeves. Swearing. I like swearing, although I do it sometimes. I mean, I'm not a big fan of swearing.
Oh God, I got too many.
Yeah, right.
I got to throw one out. I've done 2 already.
Okay, well, I can stick with traffic. Yeah. I hate it when people don't get the speed limit. The speed limit.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's another good one.
Let me just tell you this: the speed limits are goddamn low enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to mimic my roadways. So I'm just telling you that's why I'm doing this. Okay. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what it's like behind the wheel.
I know some of these
in my world.
Some of the range roads I drive on to get into town, they're 80.
Yeah.
And then you get behind somebody and they're doing like 59, 60.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me.
And what I don't understand is that the speed limits are low enough. There's not a single solitary road that I've been on in the Edmonton area where I'm looking at the speed limit thinking, yeah, that's a little high.
Fast.
That's a little high, right? So the speed limits are low enough, and then you got people, and it's always the one dude in the front, right? And then there's a lineup of traffic, and I always think to myself, when you look in your rearview mirror and you see a smack ton of traffic behind you,
what do you think?
what actually goes on in that brain of yours?
So
You're going, oh boy, there's a lot of cars back there.
if I may,
Traffic's really picked up in the past 10 minutes because you're going like 40 kilometers an hour in an 80-kilometer road. Whoop, a lot of traffic all of a sudden.
But I'd love to pull them over, just stop them for a moment and say, I'm just curious.
How fast is your car actually?
by the way, well, why don't you just walk up to them while they're driving and talk to them about it?
I know.
Yeah, walk up beside.
Walk up beside. Hi, how's it going?
So this is not a teaching moment. This is a reminder moment. I'd like to ask very seriously. For example, if we're on a freeway, we all do know that the right-hand lane is the slow lane and the left-hand lane is the fast lane, right? We know that, right?
That's
Do
what
we know?
supposed
Do
to
we?
be.
Okay.
Some people
Do we
don't
know?
think that.
Here's my. Do we know that, right?
Yeah.
Because OMG, you guys, because I'm in Metropolis. I'm in Edmonton, right? So I'm right off the Anthony Henday. Yeah, nobody knows that the right-hand lane is the slow lane. They seem that all of the lanes are the slow lane.
Yeah. Like what Jordan wrote. I do think it's like all magicians except for the magnificent propagando, state-approved magician.
I love it, Jordan.
DJ wrong way.
And actually, that, as we talk traffic, that's another pet peeve of mine. You get onto something like, whether it be the Henday or say a 2-lane highway, for an example, and you have semi-trailer trucks, and all of a sudden they both decide they're each going to take a lane. But they're both not going very fast.
And they'll do the same speed.
They're doing the same speed, and they take up the whole road. You can't get past them.
Move!
They're going like 90 kilometers an hour and 100, 110, and they're just driving along beside each other, and you can't, there's nowhere to go other than you want to drive in the ditch and try and four-wheel it and get by them. Like, what are you supposed to do?
You know what drives me nuts is when you get when you merge off any road, and there's that free flow lane. Right? Yeah. That free flow.
Do people not ever know?
People stop in the free. I have it happen here all the time.
They stop on the free.
Hey, Podlie,
read the sign.
See the big eyes.
I'm about to tear this apart. I got one right by my house. I do. It's off the freeway onto a 60 kilometer onto a pretty close to a residential.
People have no idea what that means.
And the dotted lines. And they stop.
Maybe they think they just don't have to pay.
A dead stop. And it's, first of all, it's damn dangerous because coming off of that highway, you're doing 70. You're not doing 60 or 50. You're doing 70.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's dumb and it's dangerous.
You got people merging onto Highway 2. It doesn't matter which direction you're going. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, all traffic, especially in the morning and late evening, they're going 120, 130, 140 sometimes kilometers an hour. And people are merging at 60. I mean, do you have like a death wish? What is wrong with you?
Man. Well, Marvin says here, speed on Highway 16 in the morning is somewhere between 130 and 135.
Where Highway 16?
On Highway 16.
130 and 135.
Yeah. I believe you. Because I tell you, man, I used to travel to Calgary a week a month back in the day when I was in technical sales. And I'd leave in the morning on Monday. And I would generally kind of leave around the 5 o'clock mark because I wanted to be in Calgary kind of set up by 9 o'clock, you know. And I would leave there. I tell you what, I could put my cruise control on 165 and we'd have a little group of us. Nobody slows down. Everybody goes, and you know what? You could pass a cop. And if there's more than 3 or 4 cars, they know, hey, listen, they're just keeping up with traffic, right?
Yeah.
And we would go. But I mean, it comes to the point where you have to be cognizant of traffic around you, whether you're going too slow or you're going too fast. You have to be cognizant of traffic around you. Mm-hmm. If you're on a single lane road and you're just chugging along, 30 kilometers below the speed limit and you have a line of 20 cars behind you, I mean, for Christ's sakes, have a little bit of consideration.
I think it's cognizant of just the rules of the road.
The rules of the road. Yeah,
I just think it's, I mean, first of all, you're 14 years old. You get a book first that you have to read.
Yeah.
Okay. Read the damn book.
Yeah.
Don't guess at the questions and hope you're right. Read the book.
So Marvin says no, 130 to 5K. So somebody's going 5 kilometers an hour on Highway 16. Marvin, how's that?
I'm having difficulty understanding that. And Laura says her pet peeve is not letting people in. It's common.
Yep. Agreed.
There's a merge lane for a reason. Yeah, and
Agreed.
What's really strange, Laura, is people don't quite understand. Back to Paulie's point, people don't understand what a merge is. Because what happens is people on the highway, and then somebody's merging in, and they're like, "This is my lane," right? The people on the highway going, "This is my lane." You know, if he wants to merge, he's going to have to do whatever. No, it's called a merge for a reason.
Because the dumbass that's in the other lane suddenly forgets that the merge lane ends.
Yeah,
like,
and-
what? Like that's dangerous.
And
That's dangerous.
And it's called a merge for a reason. It's the responsibility of both the person on the road that is being merged onto and the person who is merging.
Ugh.
It's the responsibility of both people to merge. It's called merge. Look up in the dictionary what the word merge means.
That's what it is. Marvin, whoops, hang on, sorry. Put this one up. Marvin says, my F-150 tried to eat a Chevy Cruze when it stopped in a traffic circle a couple weeks ago. It could be another pet peeve.
Yeah.
Those
I
people
love
who don't know
Jordans.
how to drive in a traffic circle. Jordan Ward, vampires can enter your lane unless you can enter
Unless you like
Good
Oh,
one,
Jordan.
But yeah, traffic circles are another thing. Like, it's surprising how many people still don't know how to use a traffic circle. Right?
Yeah, no.
You're trying to go around your inside lane,
Yeah, no
go your exit, and then you got this guy flies in from the outside lane and cuts right in front of you. Or there again, I've been through some traffic circles even lately where people don't signal.
Yeah, they don't signal. So we have no idea which way they're going out.
Which are you going all the way around?
Yeah, I always think to
exit?
myself, the guy on the inside, like, are you just gonna go in circles?
Yeah,
Because I don't see a signal.
signal.
I don't see a signal
National
going out.
Lampoon's European Vacation.
Yeah.
Watch it, damn it. It's hilarious. You remember? You know what I'm referring to? National
I
Lampoon's
think so. Yeah.
Chevy Chase all around in England, in London, it was hilarious. It was awesome. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Hey man, I don't know if it's still there, and I don't trust my memory because I was so young, but it seems to me that there was a 7-lane circle in, I think it was Bombay, I can't remember, but it was called Jacob Circle, like as in Jacob's, as in for the Bible, Jacob Circle, because it was seven roads. Can you imagine that?
Well, but I mean, you're in a city of 18 million people.
Yeah.
You're gonna have 7-lane traffic circles.
Yeah.
You're gonna have that. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, same thing. 7-lane traffic circles. Now it's not all cars; it's all mopeds. It's almost exclusively mopeds. But it was chaos. It was absolute chaos.
Yeah. Well, I think about, we've talked about the flow of traffic for these people that, get on the Henday or on the highway or whatever, and you got the speed limit's 110 and they're doing 85 or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Drive, just get up in the flow of traffic at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go over the speed limit just to get the flow of traffic. And funny thing was, when I did my bike test, my road test a month ago, whatever it was, my instructor says to me, by the way, we're going on the Henday, and he says, don't worry, if you go over the speed limit because you're staying in the flow of traffic, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to dock you, so just do it. So
because safety first.
I tell you what, if I ever get a ticket for that, for keeping up speed or taking off fast from if I get a red light ticket because I took off, not a red light ticket, but whatever you call speed ticket, if I take off too fast on a motorbike, I will fight it.
Yeah,
because that is not it's dangerous to not keep up the flow of traffic.
Correct.
If you're in a tiny car, if you're in a motorcycle, for goodness gracious sakes, keep up with the traffic.
Correct.
You'll fight the ticket if you get one.
How do we feel about speed cameras? How do we feel about and red light cameras? How do we feel
probably
about
have
those?
a love-hate relationship with them.
Yeah,
honestly,
me too.
I do.
Me too.
Right? Because in some ways, I think to myself, you get the douchebag who will cut you off doing 190 when you're doing 120, and you're thinking, dude, I'm doing 100, I'm doing 10 kilometers over the speed limit, right? I'm doing fine. Let's not be totally out of your stinking mind.
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of that, I think to myself, hey, that'd be great if 3 weeks down the road, Buddy Boy gets a ticket, and maybe just maybe he realizes that it might not be the safest thing to do to pass a guy doing 120 to get to 180.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that really pisses me off is that you got these people that they know where the traffic cameras are, and then they're speeding like bloody jackrabbits.
Then they slam on the brakes.
And then they slam on the brakes just before they get. I mean, coming from south, when you're on Highway 2, coming north on Highway 2, when it becomes Gateway Boulevard, when you go off the highway to come onto Gateway Boulevard, it's just below on just this side of the Henday, south of the Henday.
Yeah, I know where you are. Yep.
There's always traffic traffic cops there, and it goes down from 120 to 90. What happens is you get some dude doing whatever 180 on the highway and whatever. Hey man, I don't mind speed. I get along well with people that speed because I like driving fast. But I don't speed, by the way, just so you know. But the fact of the matter is, Buddy's doing 140, 150, 160, and he knows that the camera's there. And if you're behind him, you better wait. You better notice that he's going to slam that brake.
Yeah.
Right. And so they played the system, and in that way, I think to myself, no, I don't think you should have stationary speed cameras. Right. They should be roaming speed cameras.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
And I know they think it's some gigantic deal that they're doing by lighting up the truck and painting it so that everybody knows there's a speed trap there.
Right.
I get that. In some ways, that seems to be a reasonable option. But honestly, I don't think it's very good because everybody just slows down for that amount of distance and space and time. And then they get right back up and they speed like crazy.
Yeah, William here makes the comment, I hate motorcycles doing lane cutting here. The only place it's legal is California. So that's true, William. I have been on the freeways in California numerous times. And boy, you're on a freeway and you might be inching along a bit just due to, their freeways get, heavy traffic,
sure.
4 lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
And then you look to your right and you see this bike coming right up in between the cars, moving his way right up to the front, right? And that happens on an ongoing basis there. Me, I can't do that on mine, obviously, and wouldn't do it here. But in LA, you see that happening all the time.
I'm as people know on the podcast, I'm a relatively new motorcyclist. I've only been motorcycling for about 5 years now, 5 seasons. I think this is my 5th season. But to me, I don't know that I would be comfortable lane splitting because I don't think people are paying attention to what's going on. People don't pay attention to what's happening in the next lane, let alone what's happening in between the lanes. I mean, somebody opened their door to just
pour out some drink.
To pour out some water or whatever.
Don't even open your door. Flick a cigarette. Flick a cigarette.
No truth. So I don't know about lane splitting either, William. I don't see it in Edmonton. I don't see it happening in Edmonton very much. But yeah.
Well, he makes another comment here. He said, I have a lead foot, but I can also maintain my speed and placement on the road, which seems to be a rare thing with drivers now. I'm really curious. I don't know what it's like, obviously, because I've been driving for way too long. And I don't know what it's like when they do driver's lessons with the kids and things now. Like, I'm curious. What are the lessons like? Are they taught to stay with the flow of traffic? Are they taught how to merge? Are they taught
I tell you what,
lanes?
No idea.
What is that?
I have watched time and again. I've even commented this to people in the vehicle. When I see a student driver with an instructor in there and they're doing 30 kilometers an hour in a 60 kilometer an hour zone. Let me tell you something. If I on my motorcycle did the road test and I was doing 30 in a 60 kilometer an hour zone, I'd have been failed. But a car driver doesn't seem to have the same issue.
Interesting.
I've seen it so often where they're not keeping pace with traffic. And I get it. Maybe you're nervous. Then the fact of the matter is this driver should be outside of the traffic zone in order to learn how to the surroundings. I don't think it's fair to take young people and make them think that it's okay to do half the speed limit.
Okay. So I do not have old kids. I have young kids. My kids are 5 years away from learning how to drive. But here's what I'm going to do, guys. And remember, my ex-wife, I taught her how to drive. She didn't drive. She didn't drive in China. She had no license in China. She had no experience in China. She came over here. She just learned from scratch how to drive in Canada. Here's what I did. I did not put a new driver's sign on the back of the car. I don't want other drivers to think like she is a driving pariah and completely avoid her. No, I actually want her to go with the flow of regular drivers.
But people
don't put a new driver's sign on your kids' cars. Don't do it. Because then they're not going to be used to regular speed. They're not going to be used to regular drivers.
I agree, 100%, Paulie. For whatever reason, and I could be wrong with this, but for whatever reason, the emphasis seems to be how to operate a motor vehicle. But the emphasis should be how to operate a motor vehicle within the current environment that you're in. That's what the emphasis should be on, right?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. When I did my driver's test,
argument,
which again was a long time ago, I did my driver's test, and part of my driver's test was in the middle of a winter storm on Grote Road. Doing your driving test. This is the test. This is my road test. Driving down Grote Road in a snowstorm.
Wow.
And a blizzard. That I passed.
And you passed, yeah.
But would they do that nowadays?
I don't
They
know.
probably
I don't know.
cancel.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
I failed 2 times.
Yeah.
Got mine on the 3rd. Now, since then, I've become I've been a professional driver, career,
Yeah, career. Yeah.
and what have you. Got citations for X amount of years, safe driving, yada yada yada. Right, but I failed twice. Got it on my 3rd time when I was a kid. So
Nice.
you know what? Take your lumps, baby. Do it right.
Yeah.
Hey, do it
Take
right.
your lumps.
Exactly right.
Mine as well, but yeah, I agree. I've always been thinking that, especially even the past little while. Same thing. Watching some of these student drivers, wondering, like, are they really being taught to
Go with the flow of traffic?
question.
No, because the enemy, the absolute arch enemy seems to be speed. But it doesn't matter what speed. Like so if you all of a sudden, I was just complaining about this quite recently, that they're changing all the speed limits to 40 in Edmonton.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah,
residential.
Like, let me get
Residential.
this straight, because Edmonton is not slow enough. Right?
Okay.
Well, when you can go to Europe and go on some of the freeways in Europe, and there is no speed limit.
Yeah.
Do they have issues?
I tell you what, I don't think they have any more issues than we do.
I don't think so. Like, I would be curious, what is the accident rate on a freeway in Europe as compared to what we have
the
here?
white mud or to the
To the
Henday.
Henday or the white mud. Like, if you go on a freeway or a highway in Europe when there's no speed limit,
Yeah.
I would probably almost guarantee you their accident rate is probably
It's
lower
lower.
than what we have
That's
here.
because the people are used to driving
Okay.
that speed, right? But what I'm saying is that speed, like, if you say, hey, the speed limit is 50, right? And if a person is doing 30, they're ignored. And no, they're perfectly law abiding. But if they're doing 60, all of a sudden they're the worst criminal on the planet.
Right?
Right? I don't understand that dichotomy, right?
Yeah, I don't really understand either. As you talked about taking the speed limit down to 40, I don't know what difference that's going to make from having it being 60 in a residential.
You know what they need to do? Now, I spent a lot of time in Asia, and there are little to no driving rules in Asia. But what they do have is they do not have yield to the driver. They have they do not have yield to the pedestrian. They have yield to the driver.
Right.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I tell you,
it's ingenious, you guys.
Paulie, the problem is over here. I've seen it so many times, and I'll tell you guys, I have a ton of experience driving because all my jobs have been driving.
Yep.
So I have a ton of experience driving. I'm very comfortable on the road.
Yep.
Those who've driven me say I have eyes in the back of my head because it's just I don't yes
They're just looking
everywhere. and the fact of the matter
That's a mole, Bill. That's a mole.
But the fact of the matter is, when a pedestrian just doesn't look and doesn't care, they just step off the sidewalk. Right. I'm like, okay, I get that you have the right of way, but if I'm 10 feet from you doing 30 kilometers an hour or 40 or 50,
and you think I'm going to stop?
I'm sorry if you think you have the right of way. You're going to get
You're going to die. You're going to die.
You know? It drives me insane.
I think we have to change. We have to yield to the driver is what we have to do.
I think we do. Yeah, agreed.
I find that, especially in the U.S. and having been, I like you, have spent my career driving.
Yeah.
Even driving like up north, like I've driven some of the small highways to get up to some of the small districts and school districts, etc. Like way up north in the middle of winter when you can't drive any faster than 50 kilometers an hour because you can't see the road.
I know.
And you don't know where the shoulder is, but you got to get to where you got to go. But anyway, having traveled to the U.S. quite a bit during my career, now doing it again a little bit more, I do see, especially in the U.S., that it is more yield to the driver, especially in the U.S., like in Orlando and Vegas, etc. You don't dare step out on the curb. You watch for the cars first, let the cars go, and then you go. It's not this, I'm yielding for the pedestrians have the right of way.
Yeah,
it's the cars.
I think I'm with you guys. I think probably that's a great point, because I think if you just change it around and say yield to the driver, I think the drivers are still going to stop. You tell me a road in Edmonton where you actually see a person waiting across the road where a driver won't stop. I seriously
very rarely. On occasion you might see, but it's very
rarely. But the fact of the matter is,
when you hear about it, you hear about it on the news because somebody's died.
Correct. And the fact of the matter is, if it's yield to the driver, you will get pedestrians who are more careful because they have to yield to the driver of not just stepping off the curb arbitrarily.
Pay more attention.
right?
what
They're going to
doing.
pay more attention. And I
you're-
think it's going to
you're
save.
right. And of course, back in our days, there was no cell phones and stuff like that. So you didn't have people doing this. But now that we're in that era, yeah, you're right,
So
Paul. You see
since
those
I've
people-
since I lived in China for 3.5 years, 15 years ago, it's been a thorn on my side. We really have to change, and we have to yield to the driver.
So I'll tell you a pet peeve. All right. In this exact same vein, it's the damn bicyclists that want they want to be treated like a motor vehicle, so they can go in the middle of the lane
Mhm.
and everything else. And you know what? If that be the case, that's fine. But if you want me to treat you like a motor vehicle, you better not be riding the bike along the crosswalk.
Mhm.
You better be off your bike, because what happens is they're riding. I have a green light,
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be, and a person just walks by, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm ready to go.
Oh,
and
you're
all of a
getting
sudden, the
Friggin'
bicyclist
steamed
Comes
right
whipping
now.
across.
comes whipping across on the cross.
Yeah, on the cross.
On the
Is
cross.
it getting
What's it
hot in
called?
here?
Polly, what's it called? The cross what?
Crosswalk.
Walk.
Yeah.
Not a cross
Cross
damn
ride.
bike.
Happened to
Or,
me
yeah, not cross ride or
yesterday.
anything.
Happened to me yesterday. 2 kids walked from 50th Street, major residential area,
Yep.
but major, 60 kilometers an hour. 2 kids, their dad, guess what? Rode his bike across the freaking street.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you
come
see,
on.
but then the same people will say that they want the rights of every motor vehicle on the road.
Mhm.
Okay, well, you can't have it both ways. You can't be a pedestrian and a vehicle driver.
Yeah.
You have to choose.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if you choose not to be a motor vehicle on the road, then that's fine. If you choose to be, stay off the sidewalks, stay off the crosswalks,
Go into your bike lanes or whatever.
Go into your bike
that they're
lanes.
creating all over the place.
right?
Yeah.
It irks me. And I tell you what, yeah, and they're the ones that get upset at drivers. I don't see too many drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the bike always gets mad.
It's always the bike
always gets mad at drivers.
That's right. You're supposed to be watching for me, mister. You're about that friggin' big,
Yeah,
dude.
and you're illegally riding your bike in the crosswalks and on the
Right.
sidewalks.
Well, and
But how come it's not enforced?
they don't enforce it. We're getting close to being out of time here. But again, going back to again, as you said, with cyclists, or again, as I was just saying, with the cell phones and the headphones in the ears, and walking up to crosswalks. I have seen people, like you said, when I see somebody on a phone and headphones in, and they're coming to a crosswalk, I'm going to stop. But I still be very careful, because.
But
I know
are
they're not
they
paying
sure
attention,
that you're
'cause you'll
going to
see-
stop?
No, you see them doing this, and you're right. Oh, curb. They just step down and they keep going, because they think, well, everybody's going to stop for me.
You know what I do?
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on how close or whatnot, and blah blah blah, I'll put it in neutral and rev the engine. And then they're like,
Yeah.
I'm a jerk when it comes to that.
If y'all are driving in Leduc lately,
They all driving.
if y'all are driving in Leduc,
All right, that's about it here, guys. Mr. Cliff.
All right. Well, we haven't been terribly consistent on the Mondays, but we're here live today. So if you've joined us live, as you all have in the comments and all that type of stuff, and engaged with us, really want to say we appreciate it. I always speak for the three of us so confidently when I tell you we love having you here, and this podcast would not be anything like it is without your cooperation and without your engagement. So we really appreciate that. Awesome to have you guys here. Linda, nice of you to show up. Appreciate that. Jordan,
Thanks,
nice of you to show up. It's about bloody time. Blah, blah, blah. You guys know my shtick. I want to thank you for being here. And if for whatever reason you want to listen to it.
that's nice of Laura to say. Look what Laura said.
Yeah, we love being here, which is great.
Awesome, Laura. Thank you.
That's awesome. And yeah, as Cliff said, Friday nights, 10 o'clock, soundsugarradio.com. You can listen to the audio portion of it. Otherwise, everybody, it has been a blast. And I guess we're going to see you soon.
I am walking home
All right.
after that conversation.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you later.
Stay happy.